And we'll go back to your childhood, but like, I'm sure you have these moments where you have to stop and consciously tell yourself, like, whoa, like, I can't believe, like, what I'm doing and, like, who I'm interacting with and, like, the people I'm working with, right?
Dude, I smoked pot with Bret Hart one time, and it blew my mind that was happening.
Please tell me about this.
It was like 2014, 2013, because where I started training in West Texas, this guy named Fred Urban III, God rest his soul, he was a good man. He passed away last year. He got gastric bypass surgery in Mexico, and it busted, and he got infected and died.
Oh,
and he was one of those guys that got sick a lot, and he'd always go to the hospital, and we'd always just be like, oh, we'll fucking, Fred will be all right, blah, blah, blah. But this time he wasn't all right. But I was glad I got to talk to him beforehand. But he was good friends with, like, a lot of names. Like good friend. Like, people fucking message him Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday and shit. And Bret Hart was one of those guys. And he came down once, and he was just like, hey, man, is it okay if you smoke with Bret? And I was like, is it okay? Is it okay if I smoke with Bret? And then, yeah, dude, whatever. Anyways, me and Bret Hart smoked like 7 bowls together, and this dude, I felt bad for him because all he did was talk about Goldberg kicking him in the face and ending his career.
Really?
Yep. And it was like an hour of just that. Like just going back to it. Like, he would start telling a story, and then it would just go back to Goldberg kicking him in the fucking face and fucking his head up. And he was super nice. Like, don't get me wrong, he was cool as fuck with me. But it was just really depressing. And then I got to do it again, WrestleMania 30 weekend in New Orleans with him. It was just me and him originally. And then I went to go get coffee for Chris Masters because I was still at that fucking stage in my career. And MVP was just like, what the fuck, you didn't get me coffee? And I was just like, you want to go smoke pot with me and Bret Hart? And he was just like, yes. And then me, him, Masters, and Carlito all go up, and we're just fucking chilling with Bret, and Bret's talking, and then he starts talking about Goldberg.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, man, like, fuck, dude, come. Like, it was sad. Like, that's just what his brain goes to when he gets fucked up, I guess.
I guess because my interactions with Bret over the years have been, like, not about Goldberg. He's been nothing but kind, and he's told me a couple stories. Like, I had to introduce him to a couple Make-A-Wish kids at a show, which was really cool, and like just seeing Bret interact with the kids and give them free stuff. And then like I happened to bring, just in case he was willing to do it, I think this is the first time I met him, I had this old Bret Hart poster from 1991, like the WWF one where he's like, it looks snowy outside and he's wearing like a jean jacket and he's got the glasses on. He told me a story about how the night before he took those photos for the poster, he got real fucked up with Curt Hennig, and he claimed it was just booze, but he said he had a super hangover, and they had wanted him to take off his glasses for some of the photos, and he was like, no way, because like you could see it in his face, like that he was just out of his mind, like just hungover. Man, that's really sad though to hear that his brain just keeps going back to the Goldberg thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, that's just one of many, like, early on interactions because of Fred that I got to have. I stayed in a fucking lake house with Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart for, like, 3 or 4 days. Like, before I had my first match. Like, yeah, dude. In Big Sky, Montana. Fred drove the ring from Texas to Montana up there so that the Extreme Midget Wrestling guys that was ran by this dude named Johnny Green.
Yeah.
They, and God rest his soul, too, we took the ring up there, and when we got there, it's the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. Like, we're at a lake house. The deck of the second floor of the lake house was in the water, essentially. Like, you walk out and you're over the water, and you can see, like, the middle of the lake, you can see all the way down. And it's June, so it's like 75 degrees out in Montana, but there's snow caps on the mountains across the river.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm sitting there eating fruit. And I just hear somebody walk in, and and I was like, this dude sounds like Hulk Hogan. I turn around, Hulk Hogan's shaking hands with people. He comes up to me, sticks his hand out, and I go, you want some fruit? And he goes, oh, no, man, airline food makes me need to shit.
Oh, my God, what?
And that was the first interaction I had with Hogan.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was fucking cool. And lots of other dudes fucking, like, I could just go down the list and just blow minds, but it's fucking...
I mean, you've already blown mine just with Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan right off the bat.
Dude... Fred was connected, and it was really cool. That's where I got to start.
Yeah, man, that's... Cool. All right. Well, geez, how do we follow that?